Hey everyone, I hope you've been doing awesome. I am Radhika. Welcome back to DataZard. And today I am really excited for this week's challenge as we are going to work with DAX. And DAX is the favorite part of Power BI for me. So without further ado, let's get it right into it. Today we are solving Power BI 2021 Week 18 challenge, which uses DAX. Here we will be solving a puzzle, which is a cat or a croissant. So we will be given this kind of a start page. So when we click on start, we are presented with a few images. Some are of cats, some are of croissants. So we need to choose the right picture. So we need to choose cats in this case. So if I select a cat, it will still give me a status of keep going. It's a cat. This is a cat. But as soon as I choose a croissant, then it's gonna tell me I have lost. And then I can click on this reset button to reset everything. So let's jump into our Power BI desktop. As always, let us first start by importing data. It's an Excel file, so I am choosing the Excel file and clicking on open. I will click this checkbox and click on transform data. The table has loaded all right. One of the requirements given in the challenge is we need to randomize the images whenever refresh button is hit. So for that, we need to have one column which will help us in deciding the order of the images that should be shown to the user. So for this, I will go to add columns, click on custom column and name this column sort by. And here I will just write list.random and we'll select one because we just need one number and click on OK. Now I will just expand this list. So extract values. I will choose the delimiter as none and click on OK. And these are all random numbers which are generated between 0 to 1. Now I will just go to home and click on close and apply. I forgot to rename my table. So I will just rename it from here. We'll say cat or food. Now I will go to image, change the data category to image URL and sort by. This should be the sort by column that we have newly created. Now to show images, it was already mentioned in the challenge that we can use a custom visual. So this time I'm going to use a chiclet slicer. This will help me in adding images really beautifully. So I will click on these three dots for get more visuals and search for chiclet slicer. And I will click on add. Now let us create this chiclet slicer. So I will click on chiclet slicer, place it somewhere here. And now I will drag images in category. I will drag images in the image. And in values, I will drag is cat. Now let's format this. We don't want any headers. For chiclets, we want the image to be 220 by 220. For selected color, I'm going to choose a bright yellow color so that we can see the selection. For outline width, I will just set it to 5 and change the color to white outline color. Give this a background of gray color. And now we want a 4 by 2 chiclet slicer. So for that, I will go to general and then I need 4 columns with 2 rows. And now for images, we want 100 as image split. And this is how the images look like. Now we need to create a few measures so that we can decide whether a cat is selected or food is selected and then decide the status of the game. So for that, I will create a new table, call it key measures. Now the first measure that I'm creating is called selected cats. In this measure, we are counting the rows where a cat is being selected. So for that, I will first use if. I have two options here, either to use has one value or is filtered function. I can't use has one value because we are going to select multiple images here. So that is why I'm going to use is filtered and then give it the image. So if there is a selection made, like if there is a filtering done, then calculate. We need to count rows of cats and food like the table. Now in this, we need to bring back the context. So all selected images and then the where is cat is equal to 1. If there is no selection, like if no images are selected, then give it a value of 0, and then we're going to close the brackets. So what it is doing is, if there is a selection on one of these images, then count the number of rows where is cat value is 1. If there is no selection made on any of these images, then have a value of 0. Let me just add a multi-row card here. And now in this multi-row card, I will add cat selected. So currently its value is 0 because we have not selected any images. And this is what the false part of if is doing. Now if I select a food image, it will be blank because there is no cat selected. And we have only told that count rows when the is cat value is 1, which is not 1 for this croissant. Now, if I select a cat, then it will show me 1 here. Again, a cat, it will increase the value to 2. So this is how it is going to work. Next measure that we are going to create is selected croissant. In this, we are going to count rows where the is cat value or is -1. So again, giving it calculate because we need to change the context. Count rows, we need to count rows of cats and food for all the selected images where is cat value is equal to -1. So I will now bring this in here. So currently I have one cursor selected. That's why it is showing 1. If I select another one, the value increases. For the third one, it again goes to 3. Now another measure that I'm going to create is going to count the total number of cats amongst all the images. So for that, I will name this as total cats, which is again counting the rows, and the table that I'm going to give this is filter. I don't want any context, so removing all context from cat and food table, where is cat, and then giving it a context where is cat is equal to 1. Now I will bring this value in the multi-row card, and this is going to give me 4 no matter what because it is removing any of the context which is given from the chiclet slicer. Now that we have these three basic measures, I'm going to create one final measure which is going to give me the game value. So I'm going to call this game status. So now what I have to do is, I first have to see if there is a selection made on any of these images. If there is, then I have to decide whether the number of selected croissant is more than 0. If it is, then the game is lost. If the selected croissant is not greater than 0, then I need to check whether the selected number of cats is equal to total number of cats. If that is the case, then I have won. But if it is not, then the game is still in progress. If none of the images are selected, then I still have to show game in progress. So let us start writing that measure. So this is if. Again, I'm using else filtered because we are going to select multiple images from here and we need to decide on the basis of that if there is a selection made. So if the images are filtered, then another if statement, if selected croissant is greater than 0, if this is true, then we say game lost. If this is false, then another nested if condition where I say selected cats equal to total cats. If this is true, then we say game won. If not, then game in progress. I will close this one. And then if there is no selection made, like if this is not true, then it will still show game in progress. And I will close the bracket. I think I've misplaced one bracket, so I have to close another one over here. And now this is fine. So now I will bring game status. So currently it is game lost because we have croissant selected. So let me just remove this and start again. So this one, game in progress, selecting a cat, game in progress, selecting another cat, game in progress, selecting a croissant, game lost. But if I don't select this croissant but select another cat, then it says game won. And if I don't make any selections, then it still says game in progress. So this is functioning properly. In order to just show you the functionality, I have taken screenshots of the images from the challenge itself. So let us bring those images in this Power BI report. So going to insert image, and I'll grab my background image, and now I will just make it full size. Let's go to formatting, image style, and do fit, and and stretch it like that. I will grab a button, so I will add a blank button, and in this button I will choose button style as fill. Instead of a solid fill, I will get an image, and I will get the exact image as this one here. This is just a shortcut I'm using just because I want to show you the functionality. I will do fit. Let's just move this image at the back. So going into format and send to back. Now let me first hide all of these visuals. So I'm selecting both of them and enabling my selection and bookmark pane. I will just disable these, and with my button I will just give a background of white color. Going into insert, inserting a shape which is a circle, and I will just decrease the size of this circle, put it here. This is just a hack, so just bear with me. And then for shape and style, for fill I will do white color, and for border also I will do white. And now when I place my button over here, let us just rename this. So this is start button, and this shape is my start button background, and this is my background image of the start page. So initially I just want these to be visible, and when these are visible, let's just add a bookmark and say start page. Let us just update it. So this is saved now. I will disable all of these visuals and just enable the multi-row card and chiclet slicer, and add the bookmark, call it game, and let's click on update. So now when my start page is visible, all of these things are visible, and when my game is there, my images are displayed. Now let us add a few more things. So we don't need this multi-row card, so I'm going to remove this. Instead, I am going to add a card, place it somewhere here. I will bring game status into this card. Let us just format this. So for card callout value, let's put it to 28. And for category label, let's just reduce it to 10. Now I will add another button. So let's go to insert, button, and a blank button. And I will add image, which is the reset image again, which I have taken a screenshot from the challenge. So going into button style, for fill, enable fill, and getting that reset image, we do it fit, transparency to 0, and place it like that over here. For this button, add the action. So going into action, enabling actions, whenever reset is clicked, we want the bookmark. So now when I click on like any of these images and then click on control and reset button, then all the images get unselected. Now we also need a text box at the top. I already have the text, so I'm just going to copy paste it. It is in white background, so it's fine. We will just format the background as well. Clicking outside so that none of the visuals are selected, I am going to choose canvas background as this color with a transparency of 0%. And for this text box again, I will click on this text box, and in size and style, I will turn off the background so that my text becomes visible. So now one more thing that we need to do is choose the background color for this one. So I am clicking on this card visual, and for background, let's choose conditional formatting, which will be by rules, and that is game status. So if the text is game in progress, then let's just choose a purplish color. If the text is game 1, then we show a green color. And if the text is game lost, then we show a red color. I will just update my bookmark so that all of these are again saved. So now let us go to start. We will need to update these as well because these are not updated. We only want start button. We don't want this card visual. We don't want this button, and we don't want the text box to be visible. So let us just update it. So now I have to define the action for the start button. So I will click on this button, go into action and turn it on. And when this button is clicked, we want to go to a bookmark, which is our game. And now when I control and click on this, I am taken to this game. The status of the game is game in progress because we are in progress for this game and none of the visuals are selected. Now, if I select a croissant, it says game lost. If I select a cat, game is still in progress. Another cat, game in progress. Another cat, game in progress. Last one, game one. And if I need to reset it, like if I have to unclick on all these images, click on control and reset, which resets the game. That's it for the challenge. I hope you have learned something from this one. If you enjoy the content, then please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This really means the world to me. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one.